Welcome to Bookish English 2. Today you'll learn how short stories can completely change the way you learn English. Stories train your ears to listen naturally, help you remember words faster, and make speaking easier without stress. You'll also practice real shadowing, pronunciation, and focus listening with me through 7 powerful stories. So watch till the end, because this lesson will show you how to learn English the smart, natural, and fun way. Chapter 1. The Magic of Learning with Stories. When I first started learning English, I felt lost. I memorized long lists of words. I studied grammar rules. I filled notebooks with exercises. But when it came time to speak or listen, everything disappeared from my mind. It was like I had words, but no life in them. Then one day, I found something different. Stories. Short, simple English stories that made me forget I was even learning. I started to feel English, not just read it. Stories have a secret power. They don't just teach you words. They make you see them, feel them, remember them. When you listen to a story, your brain connects words with emotions, pictures, and ideas. That's why children learn so fast, because they learn from stories, not from grammar books. When you learn through stories, English becomes natural. You don't force it, you live it. Every story is a small world. There are characters, feelings, and lessons. When you hear the words again and again in context, your brain starts building connections. Suddenly, you understand without translating. You start speaking with flow because you've heard the rhythm of real sentences. The best part? You don't even realize how much you're learning. When I tell my students to use short stories, I ask them to do 3 simple things. Listen carefully, repeat the sentences aloud, and imagine the meaning. It doesn't matter if you make mistakes. It doesn't matter if you forget a few words. What matters is that you stay connected to the story. That's how real learning happens, with focus, curiosity, and feeling. Let me give you an example. If you hear the boy was tired but he didn't give up, your brain isn't just hearing English. It's feeling determination. If you say it again aloud, he didn't give up. You are teaching your mouth, your voice, and your confidence to work together. That's the magic of repetition inside a story. It's not boring. It's alive. Now, when you listen to stories in English, I want you to do something simple but powerful. When you hear a short sentence, say it again softly. Match the rhythm. Feel the sound. That's called shadowing. It's how great speakers train their ears and tongues. Do it with emotion, as if you are the character. If you hear "I am brave," say it proudly. If you hear "I am tired," say it slowly. The more real you make it, the more fluent you become. You don't need long novels or complicated stories. Start small, short moral tales, classic children's fables, even modern mini-stories written in simple English. They are gold for beginners. Each story teaches you structure, pronunciation, and emotion all at once. So from today, promise yourself this: you won't just study English. You'll experience it. You'll live each story like it's happening to you. You'll listen deeply, repeat with meaning, and let English grow inside you naturally, because every story is a teacher. Every character is your friend, and every sentence you repeat is one step closer to fluency. Chapter 2. The Honest Woodcutter. It was a quiet afternoon near a deep forest. A man was working hard cutting wood beside a river. He was poor but content, earning just enough to feed his family. His hands were rough, his clothes were old, but his heart was pure. As he swung his axe again and again, sweat ran down his face. Then, suddenly, the axe slipped from his hand and fell into the river. He looked down in shock. The river was deep and fast. His only tool, the one thing he needed to survive, was gone. For a moment, he stood still. His heart sank. Without that axe, he couldn't earn money. He couldn't cut wood. He couldn't bring food home. He sat on a rock and whispered, "What will I do now?" But instead of complaining, he simply looked at the water with sadness. Then something strange happened. The surface of the river began to shine. A bright light appeared, and from it came an angel holding a golden axe. The angel spoke kindly. "Is this your axe?" The man shook his head and said, "No, that is not mine. My axe was old and made of iron." The angel disappeared again and returned with a shining silver axe. "Is this one yours?" The man smiled sadly. "No, this is not mine either. Mine was just a simple one." The angel looked at him for a moment and smiled. She went back into the water and came up again, this time holding the man's old iron axe. "Is this your axe?" The man's face lit up. "Yes, that's mine. Thank you." The angel looked at him with admiration. "You are an honest man," she said. "You could have taken the golden or silver one, but you chose truth. Take all three. You deserve them." The man could hardly believe it. He bowed his head with gratitude and took the axes. When he returned to his village, people were amazed. They asked how he got the golden axe. He told the truth about what had happened. Some greedy men heard his story and decided to copy him. One of them went to the same river, threw his axe into the water on purpose, and waited. The angel appeared again with a golden axe and asked, "Is this your axe?" The man quickly said, "Yes, yes, that's mine." But the angel frowned and said, "You are not honest." The angel vanished, taking even his old axe with her. The man went home empty-handed. This story isn't just about honesty. It's about who you are when no one is watching. Every time you speak truthfully in English, even when it's hard, you are training not just your language but your character. Say this sentence aloud: "I am honest." Feel how clear it sounds. Say it again: "I speak with truth." When you practice these sentences, don't just repeat words, live them. That's the beauty of stories. They don't just teach you grammar, they remind you what kind of person you want to be. Honesty builds trust, and trust builds confidence. When you speak English with truth, you sound real, strong, and human. So today, learn this small story deeply. Repeat the key words: honest, river, axe, truth, reward. Say them slowly and clearly. You can even shadow the sentences, repeat them softly right after hearing them. The more you feel the meaning, the stronger your English becomes. Because, just like the honest woodcutter, you'll find your reward too. Not gold, not silver, but the power to express yourself with truth and confidence. Chapter 3: The Lion and the Mouse. A great lion was sleeping under a tree on a hot day. His golden mane shone in the sunlight, and the forest was calm around him. Suddenly, a tiny mouse came running across the grass. It didn't see where it was going and ran straight onto the lion's paw. The lion woke up with a loud roar. The little mouse froze. Its small heart was beating fast. The lion lifted his paw and trapped the mouse under it. "Who dares to wake me?" he growled, his deep voice shaking the air. The mouse trembled and said, "I'm sorry, mighty lion. It was a mistake. Please forgive me. Let me go, and one day I will help you." The lion looked at the mouse and started laughing. "You? Help me? You are too small to help a lion." The mouse looked up and said softly, "Maybe one day I can." The lion stared for a moment. His anger melted into amusement. He lifted his paw and let the mouse run away. Days passed. The forest was full of life again. Birds sang, monkeys played, and the lion walked proudly as king of the jungle. But one afternoon, while chasing a deer, the lion got caught in a hunter's net. The ropes were strong, and he couldn't break free. He roared and roared, shaking the trees, but no one came. Hours passed, and his strength began to fade. Just then, he heard a small voice nearby. "Don't worry, my friend. I will help you." It was the same mouse. The mouse climbed onto the net and began biting the ropes one by one. Its teeth worked fast, cutting through the knots. The lion stayed still, watching in silence. After some time, the net fell apart, and the lion was free. The lion stood up, amazed. "You saved my life," he said. The mouse smiled and replied, "I told you, one day I would help you." The lion bowed his head and said, "Thank you, little friend. I'll never forget this." This small story carries a big message. No one is too small to help another. True strength isn't in size, it's in kindness. Many learners feel like the mouse when they start speaking English, small, unsure, and afraid. But just like the mouse, you can grow stronger with every word you speak. Even small steps matter. Each sentence you repeat builds courage inside you. Try saying this out loud. I can learn. I can help. I am not small. Feel the meaning behind every word. When you repeat these sentences, you aren't just practicing English, you're shaping your mindset. That's what stories do. They help you learn language through feeling, not fear. Now let's use this story for practice. Focus on rhythm and emotion. Say, "Please forgive me." Then say, "I told you, one day I would help you." Listen to how your voice changes with each line. The story teaches you how to express emotion, how to sound kind, brave, or thankful. These are real skills you'll use in every conversation. So, remember the lesson from the lion and the mouse. Be kind, be brave, and never think you're too small to improve. English fluency grows like friendship, through trust, practice, and patience. Chapter 4: The Thirsty Crow. It was a hot summer day, the sun was burning bright in the sky, and the air felt heavy and still. A crow was flying from one tree to another, searching for water. His throat was dry, and his wings felt tired. He looked around, but every pond had dried up, and every pot he found was empty. The more he flew, the weaker he became. But still, he didn't stop. He kept going, because giving up would mean dying of thirst. After a long time, he saw a small clay pot in a garden. His heart filled with hope. He flew down quickly and looked inside. There was some water, but it was at the bottom. The crow tried to reach it with his beak, but it was too deep. He pushed the pot, but it didn't move. For a moment, he stood silently beside it, feeling helpless. Then, suddenly, an idea came to his mind. He looked around and saw small stones on the ground. He picked up one stone and dropped it into the pot. The water moved up a little. He picked another stone and dropped it in again. Then another, and another. The water slowly began to rise. The crow became more excited. His wings trembled with energy again. He kept picking up stones, one after another, without stopping. Finally, the water reached the top. The crow drank it happily and felt alive again. He looked up at the sky as if to say, "Thank you," and flew away stronger than before. This story is simple, but it carries a lesson that can change the way you learn English. Like the crow, many learners feel tired when progress seems slow. They study for days, and yet speaking feels difficult. They think, maybe English is not for me. But remember, just like the crow, you don't need luck, you need persistence and creativity. One small stone at a time, and you will fill your pot of fluency. Each new word you learn is like one stone. Every sentence you repeat is another. Every video you listen to is one more step. It may feel slow, but every effort counts. Say these sentences out loud. I will keep going. I am learning. I will not give up. These are not just words, they are your promise to yourself. When you practice English, think like the crow. Don't fly away when things feel hard. Think, what can I do differently? Maybe listen to easier stories. Maybe repeat after the speaker. Maybe speak to yourself when no one is around. Each small idea brings you closer to your goal. Now let's use this story to improve pronunciation and rhythm. Say, the crow was thirsty. Then say, he didn't give up. Notice how your voice changes. You sound more confident when you believe what you say. This is the power of stories. They connect words with emotion. When you feel the meaning, you remember it. The crow's victory wasn't big, but it was real. He didn't find water by chance, he made it happen. And you can too. Even if your English feels limited now, your effort will raise your level, slowly but surely. Just like the water in the pot, your progress will rise one drop at a time. So keep flying, keep trying, keep believing that your hard work will bring results. You are not too late, not too weak, and not too far behind. You are learning, and that is enough. Chapter 5: The Boy Who Cried. There once was a young shepherd who looked after a flock of sheep on a small hill near his village. Every morning, he took the sheep out to the green fields, and every evening, he brought them back home. It was a quiet and simple life, but to the boy, it felt boring. He wanted something exciting to happen, something that would make the villagers notice him. One afternoon, while sitting alone and watching the sheep eat grass, a mischievous thought came into his mind. He stood up, ran toward the village, and shouted loudly, "Wolf! A wolf is attacking my sheep! Help me!" The villagers dropped what they were doing and ran up the hill with sticks and tools to save the flock. But when they arrived, there was no wolf. The boy laughed and said, "I was only joking, Allah." The villagers were not pleased. They shook their heads and went back home, warning him not to play with such serious things. The next day, the boy felt the same boredom again. He looked around, smiled to himself, and repeated the trick. He shouted even louder this time, "Wolf! Please help! The wolf is here, Allah!" The villagers once again came running. They were sweating and out of breath, but when they reached the top of the hill, they found the sheep safe and sound. The boy laughed again. "You all believed me again," he said proudly. The villagers were angry this time. They told him, "No one will trust you if you keep lying." A few days later, while the sun was setting and the sky was turning red, the boy suddenly saw something moving near the forest. His smile disappeared. A large gray wolf came out quietly, its eyes glowing in the fading light. The sheep began to panic and run in all directions. The boy shouted at the top of his voice, "Wolf, please help me. This time it's real. Wolf, Allah." But the villagers didn't believe him anymore. They thought he was joking again, so no one came. The wolf attacked the sheep, and the boy could do nothing to stop it. When the villagers finally came to check, they saw what had happened. The boy was sitting on the ground, crying. An old man put his hand on the boy's shoulder and said, "Remember, no one believes a liar, even when he speaks the truth." The boy nodded slowly, realizing the pain that lies can bring. This story teaches one of the most important lessons for life and for learning English. Honesty builds trust, and trust builds connection. When you practice speaking English, don't try to sound perfect or pretend to know everything. Speak honestly, speak simply, and people will understand you. Say these lines aloud. I speak truthfully. I want to learn. I will not give up. Feel the meaning in your voice. Every time you repeat words with truth, your confidence grows. Now, take this story as a practice. Use it to train your pronunciation and feeling. Say, "Help! The wolf is coming, Allah." Then, say softly, "No one believed him." Notice how your tone changes between fear and sadness. That change in tone is what makes your English sound alive. The boy lost the trust of others because he used his words without honesty. But you can use your words to build trust, to share truth, and to inspire others. Let your English always carry your real voice, not a fake one. Truth makes language beautiful. Chapter 6. The Golden Egg. A poor farmer once lived with his wife in a small village. They worked hard every day, from sunrise to sunset, trying to earn enough to survive. Their clothes were simple, their meals were plain, and their house was made of mud and wood. Yet, they were honest people who never took what wasn't theirs. One morning, as the farmer went to feed his goose, he noticed something shining in the nest. He picked it up and was amazed. It was an egg, but not an ordinary one. It was made of pure gold. His hands trembled as he held it. He called his wife, and both stood staring at it in disbelief. They checked again and again to see if it was real. It was heavy and bright. The farmer said softly, "Our goose laid this. Can you believe it?" His wife smiled with joy. "We are rich," she said. They took the egg to the market, sold it, and earned a large sum of money. That night they thanked the goose again and again. The next morning, something incredible happened again. There was another golden egg in the nest. The farmer's heart filled with happiness. Every day after that, the goose laid one golden egg. Slowly, their life began to change. They bought better clothes, repaired their home, and had food on the table every night. The neighbors were surprised at their sudden fortune. Some even became jealous, whispering among themselves, wondering how the poor couple had become rich so quickly. But with time, greed started growing in the farmer's heart. He began to think, why wait for one egg every day? If the goose can give golden eggs, then surely there are many more inside her. His wife tried to calm him, saying, "Be patient. The goose has changed our life already." But he couldn't stop thinking about the gold inside. One day, he made a decision. He took a knife, and with shaking hands, he killed the goose. When he cut it open, his face turned pale. There was nothing inside. No gold, no eggs, just silence. He stood still, realizing his terrible mistake. His wife cried, "You have killed our luck. You have destroyed our future." The farmer dropped to his knees, full of regret. They had lost everything because they couldn't wait. The days passed, and soon they were poor again. The house became quiet, and the once happy couple returned to the hard life they once had. This story gives a simple but powerful message. Good things take time. Many learners want quick results. They want to speak fluently after 1 week, or sound perfect after 1 month. But just like the goose, progress grows slowly, one golden word at a time, one golden sentence each day. You cannot rush learning. Patience gives you real fluency. Say these sentences out loud. I will learn step by step. I am patient. My progress is real. Feel the meaning of each word. Every time you repeat a sentence, it's like receiving another golden egg. The more you practice with calmness and belief, the more your English will shine. So remember this lesson. Don't rush. Don't compare. Your growth is already happening quietly, word by word. Like the farmer, you have a goose inside you, your mind, your focus, your effort. Take care of it. Feed it daily with practice, and it will reward you with confidence and fluency. Chapter 7. The Secret of Stories. There is something special about stories that no textbook or grammar rule can ever give you. A story stays in your heart. You may forget a rule, but you never forget how a story made you feel. You remember the sound of words, the tone of voices, and the emotions behind them. That is the real secret of learning English through stories. Every story you listen to teaches more than vocabulary. It teaches you how to think, feel, and express yourself in English. Think about all the stories you've heard so far. The honest woodcutter taught truth. The lion and the mouse showed kindness. The thirsty crow reminded you to stay clever. The boy who cried wolf warned about trust. And the golden egg whispered patience. Each one was short, simple, but full of life lessons. Every time you listened, repeated, and imagined, your brain started connecting emotions with words. That is how natural language grows inside you. When you learn through stories, you don't just study, you live the words. You remember honest not as a word, but as the feeling of being truthful. You understand help not from a dictionary, but from the mouse saving the lion. These connections make English stick in your memory longer and make you speak with meaning instead of memorizing. Now, think of yourself as a character inside these stories. You are the learner who started small, like the mouse. You are the crow who didn't give up. You are the farmer who learned patience. You are becoming fluent, one sentence at a time. That is why stories work. They put you inside English. To make this powerful, you must practice with intention. Listen carefully to each story again. Repeat after the speaker. When you hear, truth always wins, say it aloud clearly. When you hear, never give up, say it with strength. Let your mouth move, let your ears listen, and let your mind feel the meaning. That is how fluency begins. Not from grammar books, but from connection. Every learner who stays with stories becomes confident. At first, they may hesitate. They might think, I understand but can't speak. Then, after a few stories, they start repeating small parts. Soon, they speak full sentences naturally. It happens because stories show real-life rhythm, how words rise and fall, how emotions shape the voice. You don't learn just to talk, you learn to communicate. Now, try a small activity. Think of your favorite story from what you've learned. Summarize it in 2 or 3 lines in English. Use simple words. For example, a boy lost his axe but stayed honest. He got gold as a reward. That's already speaking practice. You are using the language that your brain remembers emotionally. The secret of stories is not about listening once, it's about living them again and again. When you repeat them, your fluency becomes natural. When you tell them to someone else, you own the language. You start thinking in English without effort. That is why every great teacher says, if you want to learn a language, learn its stories. So, keep listening, keep repeating, keep feeling. Every story you learn adds a new part to your English soul. You are not just learning words, you are growing as a storyteller, as a thinker, as a confident speaker of a new language. And now, as we finish this journey of 7 stories, ask yourself one question. Which story taught you the most about yourself? Tell me in the comments below. Your answer might inspire another learner today. If you enjoyed this video and learned something valuable, make sure to like it, subscribe to Bookish English, and share it with your friends.